All right, Brandon, what is up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Mark?
You ready for draft number two? We're gonna get into it real quick, guys. We're live. We just entered in $100 draft, and we're gonna tag team this one together. And let's bring it up right away so we don't miss our selections. Unless you got something to say, you want big screen action.
Yeah, let's go straight to the big screen. It's a $100 buy-in, so I guess you could say it's a mid-stakes draft, right? I don't know what you would consider low, mid, or high. For
I
me, I
think for
think
the
high is like 250 plus, right?
I think for the average player, the casual fan, $100 is a big leap up. I think a lot of people are playing for those lottery tickets, $3 entries and hoping that they can, take down thousands of people. But I enjoy these higher stakes or mid stake entries because there's less of a path to the prize. Is the way I look at it.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, that is like perfectly said. Yeah, I mean, it's less variance. You gotta get through less people, and you have access to not necessarily larger prize pools, but the same large prize pool, but less people to get through. So,
Right.
which is cool, So,
Which pick we got?
this one is a three max. So this will be like our first entry in the $100 one. And right off the bat, starting in 5 seconds, tell me where would you like to go? Because what we could do, since it's three max, we can go super contrarian, and we can go AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, and then Jalen Hurts. Some like combo like that, or we could like start off with Brees Hall and then try to correlate him with Cup in week 16.
Okay.
So because we have pick 7. So then our next pick is at 18. And then looking at the players at 18, are you comfortable with these being your wide receiver ones?
I mean, my wide receiver ones, not necessarily. I don't feel as confident as I would with like an AJ Brown. How do you feel?
Um, I think I think it would be between Debo and Nico Collins for me. Um, I don't know why I'm just pure fading Drake London. I just don't think he can get there like on any week. But I think Debo or Nico could get there on any week. And Cooper Cup, he's kind of like a question mark where it's like, does he still got it? I'm not
Right.
sure. Um, but he definitely has a lot of upside if Nakua was to miss some time. So we'll see. We could also go. We could also do something tricky and go Nakua, and then people will have less combos of like Nakua and Debo. Or we could take the standard path. We could go Brees Hall. Right now, this guy put Amon Ra. He picked Amon Ra at 3, so it should be an interesting draft. So we got Jefferson, Brees Hall, and AJ Brown. Mark, tell us where you want to go. I'm gonna let you make the first overall pick.
Man, I mean, I just love Brees Hall this year. I really do. But I see what you're saying about being different. Um, I'm going Brees Hall if it's my pick.
All right, we're gonna go with Brees Hall.
How do
All
you
right,
feel?
I feel good about it. I think he could be RB1 this season.
See, I
Um,
think when we're doing a draft like this, and being that we mentioned that there's less of a path, I don't know if we have to be so different than we would in like those $3 entries where we have to battle against 57,000 other teams.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. You don't necessarily have to be so different like you would in Best Ball Mania, but at the same time, I just don't see. I honestly don't see the disparity. Like you can't go wrong in round one unless you're. I mean, I think Wilson's risky. I think Jefferson's capped, and then everybody else, I really don't think you could go wrong with.
Right.
Because any of these 3 running backs could be RB1 this season, depending on how things swing their way. I would say the only one I think that doesn't belong in round one, and people might say I'm crazy. I would say for me, it's Bijan, Jefferson, and Wilson. Now, that's just maybe my bias, but I think it's tough for them to get there.
Yeah, I can see Wilson deserving to go in the second round. I mean, from a talent level, he deserves to be in the first round, but we're talking about fantasy football and volume, and I don't think he's going to get it this year with the way that the Jets team is built. They're going to win the battle of the trenches week in and week out, which is why I like Brees Hall. In close competitive games, they're going to try to salt away the clock. He's going to be involved in the short passing game. I think
Yeah,
Brees Hall is going to be one of the top dogs this year in fantasy.
exactly. I think Brees Hall is game script proof, like you just described. So, all right, it's going to be on us next. Um, I hope he does not take Nico Collins because I don't want any part of Drake London, and I don't think we can afford to fall behind at the receiver position. All right, perfect. So our options, I honestly think it's between Nico and Jalen Waddle. How are you feeling, Mark? I think we should go Nico here, but
Oh, trigger Nico Collins.
all right, let's do it. I think Nico's still the alpha in Houston, and he was going at the 1-2 turn earlier in the summer, so I think we're getting a discount.
Yeah.
And then we have our first stacking option in CJ Stroud, if he
Okay.
were to like to fall to us in the later rounds.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you want to go like best available? Because you can also, the way that I think you can play it is if you really want to wait on quarterback, you can get some of those Washington Commanders receivers later in the draft. And same thing with the quarterback. You can also go Caleb Williams, stacks later and fill out your team if you don't want to reach for one of the top echelon quarterbacks like a CJ Stroud right now that are going earlier in the draft.
I actually like that approach. I like it a lot, Mark. I think we'll adjust, and I think our QBs could be maybe like a Jaden Daniels and Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah,
and then we could back stack the Jets as well. We could go like a Brees Hall, Aaron Rodgers, maybe a big Mike Williams if he drops, and then Tyler Conklin.
exactly. Allows you to you're building from the final outcome, forward, if that makes any sense. We're planning on taking some of the guys that are going to be available later. They have a little bit
Yeah,
more confidence that allows us to be a little bit more fluid with best available now.
exactly. And you know what? As hard as contrarian as it sounds, I feel much better about the Brees Hall Nico start than the Amon Ra Kyron Williams start.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like Nico Collins and Amon Ra, like Amon Ra is definitely most likely gonna outproduce Nico this year. But there is a chance that Nico takes the step forward that Amon Ra did. Because remember, guys, these two wide receivers are going at the 1-2 turn last season. Now they're going here. Now you have potential candidates like AJ Brown, Nico Collins, Nakua. Like we could see these potential wide receiver ones be drafted up here next year. So that's
Right.
why that's what I always ask myself: like, are they in the right offensive environment? Are they an up and coming offense like the Houston Texans? And have they done it the prior season? And are they young? So that's why I really love Waddle this year too. And I think a dark horse to be a top 5 wideout, even though people may not see it, is a guy like DJ Moore. And
Yeah.
he's another potential stacking partner if we want to take that route of waiting on QB.
Exactly. I think you should start Waddle. I think you should start DJ Moore and Ayuk.
Yes, Ayuk, because Brock Purdy, nobody likes to click on Brock Purdy this year.
Right.
And I think it's because he's going in that range of like Tua, Goff, and I believe there's a fourth quarterback where he's going in that range where people prefer to wait for Tua and and Waddle over Purdy. Do you think there's a big discrepancy between these three quarterbacks? Do you think like Purdy can separate himself or
I think Purdy's going to be asked to do more this year than he has done in years past, especially because they're going to, I think, give a little bit of a breather to McCaffrey going forward this season, just to make sure that he's available later as they make the stretch
so,
run. But
so we got
I
10
like
seconds. Are we going DJ Moore or Ayuk? Or do you want to play quick rock, paper, scissors? Or
go DJ Moore.
all right, let's do it.
Only reason I say that is Caleb's looking great. I mean, I believe in Brock Purdy. I get nervous, and maybe I'm overthinking it here. And I'm a Niner fan, since I was 3 years old, and I'm 43 now, so that's quite to be a Niner fan. But with Ayuk being out for so long, he knows the offense. If he resigns in San Francisco, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I tend to worry about injury. I tend to worry about him, just going as the season, gets there. Is he going to be conditioned, doing the right things? And I don't want a slow start. I'd rather have somebody that is building a rapport right now in camp and in preseason with Caleb Williams. And Caleb Williams looks great right now.
I agree with you 100%. I think he looks great. And when you think of a guy like Ayuk, we're not saying he's not elite, but when you compare him to like a Jamar Chase, who is also fighting for a contract, but he's showing up to practice every day. Even though he's in street clothes, he's keeping the relationship adamant. There's reports saying that he's working out hard on the side, even though he's not working out with the team. Whereas Ayuk it hasn't been a very how should we say, like, diplomatic vibe coming from him. He's like holding out. He's not showing up, so those things, I think those things matter.
And there's many mouths to feed in San Francisco. So he could have a regression if McCaffrey does pop off, if it's a Debo year or Kittle. I mean, defenses are going to key more on Ayuk based off of what he did last year anyway. They're going to try to take that away from Purdy.
This is tough. If Josh Allen falls to us, I think we might have to. Okay, he doesn't. He does not. He does not fall to us. This is a tricky spot in the draft. We could. I still think Raji Rice is a discount. Let me see. When's our next pick? We got pick 55. So if we.
Can you zoom in a little bit or no?
Oh, sure. Is that better or?
I think we went in a little bit, yeah.
Oh, wait. No, that's too much. So we're the next pick. Mahomes is on the board. We have Trey McBride. We have Amari Cooper, who I think is like the best receiver out of all of them. We have Pickens. Where do you want to go with this one, Mark?
I made the last one, so I'm going to leave this up to you with a 10-second counter.
I think I'm going to go T. Higgins, or I'm going to reach for Raji Rice. Fuck it. Let's do it. Because if there's no word on him receiving a suspension. So if
I don't think he's going to be suspended at all. From the last thing that I read.
And when these drafts first started, he was going at the 1-2 turn over here.
Well, look at that guy. He took and Pacheco.
Yeah, so I think this is still a discount, and I think by the end of the month, before we get to the first week of the NFL season, Raji Rice is going to be going where Mike Evans, Chris Olave is going. So I think we grab our shares now. We get a potential wide receiver one. And look how filthy this is. We got the wide receiver one for Houston Texans. We got the wide receiver one for Chicago. And we got the wide receiver one for the best offense in the league, potentially.
And we can keep an eye on McLaurin. I don't know if you want to star McLaurin. You can star CJ Stroud, just depending on what we want to do, because starring McLaurin allows us to say, hey, let's keep an eye out for Daniels as well later to make sure that we do get that dual threat QB. um, out there with Washington.
Exactly.
And that's
Another
a solid
interesting
wide receiver, too.
another interesting thing we could do is because we have Brees Hall. The New York Jets play Buffalo the last week in the championship round. So if we do make it to championship, we could have that Brees Hall Kincaid correlation and
Okay.
secure ourselves an elite tight end as well. But we don't have to though.
No, I love Kincaid. I think he's going to take a step forward. He's really the outside of Khalil
Oh,
Shakir. He's gone.
yeah, McLaurin is gone, but we'll see if Kincaid goes.
Oh wow, McLaurin went that early. I haven't been seeing him go that early in drafts.
Um, I mean, Pickens is still on the board.
Rashad White, Kincaid.
George Pickens. Here we go. Here we go. Is he going to pick Kincaid? He needs a receiver. What is he doing? He's falling way behind at receiver.
He's
You see,
running
for
back.
me, even though he has elite running backs, this is most likely a dead team. And we do get Kincaid. Kincaid does fall to us. So we get a discount on Kincaid because he usually goes like 51. So we will take that. I think we will. Okay, good. How do you like our team so far, Mark?
I like it because, like we said, we baked in some room for error with the quarterbacks that we're targeting later, right? And we've also given ourselves some access to some of the bigger named quarterbacks that are going to be rostered by other teams. That's going to allow us to compete, with them later on in the season. We got Rashee Rice, for the guy that's got Mahomes. We got Kincaid for the guy that's got Josh Allen. It just keeps us competitive with those builds as well.
Yeah, I agree. So basically, we went with the hero RB, then we just triple tap receiver, and then we got our elite tight end. So with this build, we shouldn't have too many holes on our roster now.
I like it. I mean, who do we see that looks like the biggest competition to us?
Um, Let me see if this guy could grab CJ Stroud after this guy. I think if CJ Stroud falls to us at 66, that would be great, but I doubt it.
Yeah, the guy who's got Tank Dell and Kamara most likely is probably going to go that route.
Um, so what are we looking to do here? I kind of like James Conner here. He's going to be on a high-powered offense, and I think he could serve to be like a great RB2.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he does have spike weeks, 33 points, 29 points against Philadelphia.
That was with bums last year too, at the
Yeah,
quarterback
and
position.
I feel like they can't stack the box against him.
No, I like James Conner a lot. He can catch the ball, gives you that flexibility there.
I will say, though, it becomes a tough decision if Keenan Allen falls to us, because then we would have the double Chicago stack. At the same time, we could go James Conner, and then we can get the young gun in Rome Odunze. And the
Mm-hmm.
Chicago offense kind of reminds me of that year where CeeDee Lamb was a rookie, and I believe they had CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. And I think the CeeDee Lamb of the offense could be Rome Odunze at the end.
Yeah, he's a big boy
So,
too, right? He's a big.
oh, what do we do, Mark? We got DJ Moore. Keenan Allen
No,
fell to us.
I'm
It's
taking
people.
James Conner and
You're
then
taking
and then Odunze is what I would do. I like that call.
James Conner, right?
Yeah,
The only thing that pains me is Keenan Allen could be a PPR monster, but I like the call. I'm gonna go with James Conner too.
yeah, we're going to get the PPR from him as well because they're going to dump it off to Connor a bit, So I
So
think
let's
he's
let's highlight Adunze. We might have to reach for him. I'm not sure what he goes we're at 79. He goes 82. So it's perfect. So it'd be, man, I'm really liking this team. I don't think I have this combo yet.
No, it gives us some depth. And we've got a variety of ways that we can go for the rest of the draft.
I agree 100%. It looks like this team is going to go with Joe Burrow and Tua. He's got the Chase and Higgins stack. He's got A-Chain and Waddle. And then he went with 2 boomer bust picks with Pickens and Watson. I like his team. Very high upside.
Yeah. I don't love Watson, though, this year.
How come?
I mean, obviously he's injury prone. I think everybody's still stuck on that year that he caught when he had like 4 touchdowns in one game or whatever it was. And, he's a speedster. But I don't know. I like Dobbs better. I like Reed better. And I like Wicks better than I do Watson.
Yeah, I will say I definitely like Reed better to outperform Watson. At the same time, he's cheaper than last year because in best ball drafts, he was going like in round 4 with like Higgins, like these guys. So I say if you're going to take a shot on him, now is the year, because sometimes he does drop into this round. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about Watson. I could go either way. He's kind of made it a point to fix his problem. I think
they almost came down on his leg this year in training camp, and he was down on the ground for a bit.
Yeah, we got to get past the Keenan Allen guy because he might try to backstack Chicago. This guy is definitely going Joe Burrow. We got to get past he passes on Joe Burrow. We got to get past the Keenan Allen guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Mahomes. You think he's going to go with Dunze here?
He could backstack and get Caleb Williams. Okay, nice. He's right there for us for the taking. Okay, draft.
And where are we on the quarterback list as well?
So I will. Caleb usually goes 101.
Okay.
We are at pick 103. The problem. Let me see. I don't want to reach for him, but at the same time, I'm not sure what this guy's going to do. Huh?
It'd be too painful to not get him with that dual Chicago receivers that we have.
I agree, but I want a piece of the Steelers backfield. I just think, there's a lot of training camp reports that both Warren and Najee Harris are getting a ton of screen passes, and they're getting a lot of passes from the QB. So,
yeah, because both quarterbacks that are there that could potentially hold the ball too long and take too many sacks. So they need to work something into that system that they get the
ball. Like I heard the Arthur Smith system. Like they're going to be throwing a bunch of screens. It's going to be like that backfield in Atlanta last year where both Algier and Bijan were eating.
Right.
And I think because we have Raji Rice for the Week 17 correlation, we could have Jalen Warren as a bring back because Pittsburgh's projected to be trailing. So that would probably favor Warren on all those screen passes and coming from behind. He's the better pass protector.
Then we open ourselves up to the guy that just took Zamir White and who has Keenan Allen right after us. We give him 2 chances to go for Caleb Williams because he's picking right after us, and then he comes back before us again. So
I think we take the gamble because if he's not a complete fish, he knows he can't afford to go quarterback. He needs to go receiver. In my humble opinion, of course.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Like this guy waited on Joe Burrow, and it looks like Joe Burrow's gonna fall to him. This is really close. Really, really close. Let me see the other running backs we could get. Yeah, I say we go for it. We go with Najee. We lock up 3 high upside running backs.
Okay. Who is available just for?
I mean, Javonte Williams. Yeah, I think we go for the high upside play here.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Here comes the first dodge.
Yeah, we need to dodge 2 bullets here, Matrix style, right now.
Yeah, see, he goes Lad McConkey. The good thing is he doesn't have a tight end either.
Who's this guy got? He doesn't have a QB.
He's gonna go Jaden Daniels for sure. Oh no, this guy? Who is this guy gonna go? He could screw us if he goes Jaden Daniels right now, though. This guy right here. Because this guy wants Jaden Daniels. Okay, he goes Njoku. This guy's definitely going Jaden Daniels. Okay. These two already have a quarterback, so they're not going to even bother, I don't think. This guy's behind on receiver. So we just got to dodge our friend.
We dodged 1 shot. He's got 1 bullet left.
This is the excitement in drafts.
Yeah.
This makes your heartbeat doom, 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 doom.
And we got a plan. You know, what is our backup plan if he goes? Who we targeting at quarterback? Because then that's going to say, you know, is there any other weapons out there for, you know, that QB to kind of stack and get us some.
I might. I mean, I don't mind taking Dak Prescott. And then I can get Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, and stuff like that. I mean, I don't like it, but
Right.
what am I going to do? Oh, he takes Dak. So now we need Caleb. We need him. Please. He takes Dak. Okay. That makes sense because he's got CeeDee Lamb. Here we go. Moment of truth.
Let's see. Can we dodge 2 bullets? Countdown is on. 20 seconds.
He's got to go receiver here.
He's thinking about it. Let's try to push him with the energy into the universe. He doesn't go Caleb Williams.
He's going to go Cortland Sutton.
Let's see. Who we got? 5. 4.
Yes.
Joshua Palmer.
He went Josh Palmer.
All right. Cool, man. Worked out for us.
It paid off, baby.
Want to gamble again?
All right. So our team so far, we got Breece Hall, Nico, DJ Moore, Raji Rice, Kincaid, James Conner, Odunze, Najee Harris, and Caleb Williams. I would say this draft is going perfect for us.
Yeah. You know, we might want to keep an eye out for Cole Kmet too. Even though we got the tight end, but you know that gives us.
Remember, my friend. Remember, we're going for the Jets backstack.
Yeah, I got you.
I think Conklin can outscore Kmet.
Yeah.
All right, so this is going to be tough. I almost always go Shaheed here because I just think he has so much upside.
I love Wicks.
Huh?
I know you're not Wicks. I said I know you're not high on Dontavian Wicks, but I think he's gonna have a breakout year.
Well, because of our build, right? Our wide receiver 4 serves as our Dontavian Wicks in a way that he may not see a lot of snaps early on. So if we get 2 guys who may not see a bunch of snaps early on, we could fall in a hole early in the season. Whereas I think Rashid Shaheed is one of those guys that like he's going to start right off the bat. He has spike weeks. This is actually a tough decision, actually, because Zach Moss is still on the board. Wow, I kind of don't like it. What are you thinking here? I think Brian Robinson is too good to pass up on, and then we don't have to touch running back for a while. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Robinson. Gives us some depth. Goal line
So
back for
now
that.
we don't have to touch running back for a while because we got Brees Hall, James Conner, Najee Harris, and Brian Robinson.
Right.
So realistically, on this build, we could just go 5 RB, and we could just get like a high upside handcuff later on.
Yep. There's a lot, we talked about in our last video that we did, a lot of those late round running backs, like the Shipley backing up Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mason backing up McCaffrey. If there is an injury or one of those guys miss some time, they're going to get volume. Even I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but the backup for the Jets would probably make a lot of sense for us to get the backup running back.
Yeah, exactly. That would be pretty unique. If we got Braylon Allen and Brees Hall on the same team. I also like Ray Davis of the Buffalo Bills. Trying to think who else is there. You can get like a Dylan Lawabe at the end. There's a lot of things we could do. But what this allows us to do is just go straight ham receiver. We could go Dontavian Wicks. We could go Jahan Dotson. We can go Marvin Mims. We can just go straight upside.
Has Daniels been taken? Daniels was taken, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this guy. Oh, he's going to get Jahan Dotson. I forgot about this guy. He's definitely getting Jahan Dotson. I have Jahan Dotson start, but I don't think he's going to make it back to us. I don't think. The thing that's scaring people off of Shaheed is he had a hamstring injury and then he's back in practice now. But I mean, I think this guy's an animal. He was a rookie last season. What are your thoughts on Jacoby Myers? I think he's a good floor play for our build because we got a bunch of spike week players.
Yeah, and Aiden O'Connell's not starting, right? It's Minshew.
It looks like it's going to be Minshew. They're going to decide, I think, after the preseason game this week.
They should get a little bit of Minshew magic. Aiden O'Connell, man, I don't know. It's like I don't want to touch anybody with Aiden O'Connell at the helm.
Yeah. Oh, they're going running backs because we took all the running backs.
Yeah, we tried that pool up a little bit.
This is one of the best teams I think I've ever drafted. I don't want to jinx it, but if Shaheed falls to us, I mean, it'll be a dream come true. This will be the dream.
The dream team.
Wow. What is this guy doing?
Green straight across the board.
They're panicking. Here we go. I do not want to see Shaheed. He's been cooperating with us so far. And the good thing I like about Shaheed, he gives us an extra out at QB with Derek Carr.
True.
Here we go, baby. Man, this is crazy. We're just hitting everything. So I really like that. That covers our Odunze pick.
Yep, and it's a nice build in this $100 buy-in tournament. This team, I think, really stacks up well week in and week out versus the competition that we're going to be facing to get us to the next rounds.
Yep, exactly. So the next question is, are we sticking to our backstack of the New York Jets? Or can we could because we could pivot and we can get like a Pat Fry. Oh no, never mind. He's gone. I was saying we could get a Pat Fryermuth and go for a mega upside and get like Rogers and then Fields. But I don't think it's necessary because we're betting on Caleb Williams to be that guy, right?
Right. And then we don't know what's going to happen with Fields. You know, right now on those prediction market websites, he's like a 5% chance to start.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let me check the playoff schedule real quick. Um, New England plays Arizona, Jalen Polk. So I'm thinking if we don't get Jahan Dotson, because New England plays in the first week of the fantasy playoffs, Arizona. Let's say Arizona is just piling up, piling. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Piling it on against New England. You know, we could end up with a 10 catch game from Jalen Polk, and it could be a nice little mini correlation between James Conner and Jalen Polk.
Dotson's gone.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Polk and his skill set, so I'm going to trust you on that. I mean, it does make sense. We anticipate the Pats being down quite a bit, you know, this season. So
And it's PPR. He could be a PPR monster.
right.
And I have him high up in my rankings. I have him going over Jahan Dotson, actually.
I mean, if you're going with the Jets, you know, nobody likes Mike Williams either, you know, with his injury history. But if we're going with Aaron Rodgers, you know, it's just something to consider. I'm not saying that we would go that route. It's very hard to pull the trigger on Mike Williams, but I'm just saying if we are going to really focus on Aaron Rodgers, it gives us a chance, you know, because he's a big red zone target.
The thing is, Mike Williams falls so hard in these drafts. Well, we would have to make a decision because then we have to get Aaron Rodgers next. He falls so hard that I prefer to secure the floor on our team.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that, and then if he falls to us, hopefully Aaron Rodgers falls, and then
Did we take Polk or somebody took him?
No, we took Jalen Polk.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this guy took Big Mike. He usually falls, honestly, every draft I've been doing, he usually falls like in the 150s.
Right.
And then Aaron Rodgers falls like in the 160s.
Yeah, we got to see if this dude is going to take Aaron Rodgers now.
No, there's no way. He's already set. He's got Joe Burrow and Tua. I mean, if he does, he's a clown, but
the last $100 tournament that I did, it was weird. The guys were taking like 5 quarterbacks. You know, just it kind of threw me off as I was drafting.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like you were in a good draft room then. Because that is not optimal. And the good thing is, like, we could do the Jets backstack. We could do, like, if we really want to get kind of creative and more like oh, this guy took Aaron Rodgers. Why? I don't understand. Yeah. Okay. So you were right. They took Aaron Rodgers. So
it leaves us with Carr, right? We're focusing on Carr.
Well, we got Carr, and then we could have Drake May for backup. So, like, what we can do, because I think he's coming up next. I don't know. If Taysom Hill falls to us at tight end, though, or Cole Kmet, actually, we could go Cole Kmet to complete the Bears stack.
Yeah, I mean, if Kmet's there, that's probably how I would go. Is Drake May starting?
He's not starting, but it sounds like he's definitely going to see the field this year. Okay, so there goes Taysom Hill. There's Darnell Mooney as well. There's Michael Wilson. We're set at running back, so I don't want to press the button on running back. I don't know what happened with
You
Hunter
always go.
Henry.
You can always go Wendell Robinson and Daniel Jones if we're really desperate.
That's true. Actually, that's a good call. And I think the Giants, do they play anybody from our squad? I don't think it matters too much, but Wendell Robinson is not bad. It's not a bad call at all. I think if Cole Kmet falls to us, I think we just have to take him, right? We have to take because he fell like almost 20 spots to us.
Right, because the way that best ball works is, it slides in whoever is scoring the highest points for the week. So
Oh,
if we
he
get a
sniped us. He sniped us.
so
Um,
that point is moot then.
I'm a huge Darnell Mooney fan.
Okay.
Like huge. I think he's perfect for our team because, like we said, we could just smash wide receiver now that we. So I think we should stick to the plan, smash wide receiver, and
I'll tell you
then
I'll tell you one thing though. I've had that late stack in my mind with Wendell and Danny Dimes. Every draft that I've done, I've been sniped every single time. I'm not saying to take him here. I'm just putting that out there that
well, we
we
could
might.
we could get Danny Dimes naked, and then we could just pair him with Darius Slayton or Jalen Hyatt, or
Even the tight end that's out there.
because the way I see the depth chart, um, let me see, courtesy of Player Profiler. Let me see how they have it is. Let me share this tab. So they basically have Wandale in the slot, Jalen Hyatt stretching out the field, and then Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton sharing like the same duties. So I think if they go two wide receiver sets, it's going to be Neighbors and Slayton because they're the two biggest. And then once they go three wide receiver sets, it would be Wendell. So I think these two are like a better value in my opinion. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't like Hyatt. I think he, really didn't do that much last year, and I know it was a tough Giants offense with the injuries. The offensive line was terrible. They had three different quarterbacks. I like Robinson better from the slot, than in terms of getting us the PPR. And the floor to me is safer with him than it is outside
Yeah.
of Neighbors.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do because I think they're an up and coming offense, and that gives us another opportunity to get another quarterback.
What are you thinking?
I'll give you a hint. Let's ride. You know what I want, Mark? I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Mims. We could go Mims, then we go Carr, and then we go Bo Nix. Bang.
Okay, we can do that.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I personally like Robinson better than Mims. Um,
Well, Robinson's gone.
oh,
He
he
went
is.
right here. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
tell
hard
you
to
what.
see because I don't know why it doesn't want to.
I get sniped on Robinson all the time. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we got to go. That's the route that we have to go.
Because, like I said, because we press so hard on running back early on,
We need to
we
go a
can
little bit heavy.
go. We can go, my boy. He's gonna save the day. I will say, if you're a big believer in Deshaun Watson, we can get him at a discount right now. But I like taking this Mims and going with the upside with Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'm not I don't need Deshaun Watson again. Dominant defense. We don't know if he's going to turn back into pre-massage Deshaun Watson.
Pre-massage.
He showed when he's on that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but we haven't seen that from him in years, and he's got the injury concerns. Again, same thing that we talked about earlier. That's one of the top defenses in the league that they might be in every game that he's not going to really need to be slinging that rock around, to keep the Browns in the game. The Browns are a run heavy team as well. So I don't know if Deshaun Watson would even be on my
This
radar.
guy took Derek Carr. Damn it. Um,
Yeah, we're going to be rolling out with Sam Darnold as our backup
I don't know. I feel like this is a good spot to if Fields falls to us.
to take a shot and then follow him up with the last. What I would do
Because Bo
if you're going
Nix is a for sure starter. I know that. Drake
yeah,
May, I don't know if he's going to see the field, but he has more upside. But Bo Nix looked good in his first preseason game. He's got the rushing upside and he can pass. And I
right.
think we can backstack him with like a tight end like Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, I like that. I was
And
just
we could just like bet on the Broncos offense taking a leap forward this year
right.
with Sean Payton. And then we have that Justin Fields card where we don't necessarily need him right away. The only disappointing thing is Derek Carr was going to be like our floor in
Right.
case Caleb Williams was struggling early on. But we made our bets with Caleb Williams. I don't think we could pass up on the opportunity. I think we could just go Danny Dimes. We could go Danny Dimes and go with our original plan and maybe get like a Theo
So,
Johnson or it's up to you. It's up to you. I just know for sure Bo Nix is starting. So I would prefer to get Danny Dimes or Justin Fields, even though I think because we have Najee and he serves as like someone just took Bo Nix. That sucks. So
see,
I
we're
think so. Okay, so you were right that
to the vest. We can't. We
huh?
can't. I said we can't talk about it because everything we talk about, they're sniping us now. So we got to text each other what we want to take.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they took Danny Dimes. We got to go Fields. We got to go Fields. Let me see what quarterbacks are left. All right.
We didn't go Jacoby Myers, right? We didn't do that.
No, I say we go Fields. He dropped to us.
The only thing that sucks is he really doesn't give us a floor, but take him. I
We
think
just
with
need him. We just need him to come in, and we got to take Drake May also now. Hopefully, nobody reaches for him.
I mean, unless you go heavy, your other dude that you like, you go Calvin Austin. You really reach for Calvin Austin, and last pick of the draft, you take Russell Wilson just in case Fields doesn't see the field, and you have Russ out there.
That is true. Because we do have 20 picks.
You got Najee. You got Najee. So if they do throw a screen pass or whatever, at least you get, that week you might get those points.
Yeah, because all these guys are just going ham. Like this guy didn't need another quarterback.
I told you that when I did the last $100 draft, people were going quarterback heavy, and it blew my mind and it threw me off. It started making me reach for some selections, way earlier than I should have.
We really got screwed on this turn. This turn right here, this really screwed us.
Yeah,
because I was expecting to go Danny Dimes or Fields and then Bo Nix.
right.
But I don't know what this is. Does he even have like anybody? I don't understand.
Yeah. So I think for us, we use that last pick as a throwaway, and we just shore up that Steelers QB by taking Russell Wilson, just in case. I mean, I know it's not ideal. I know you want a player that could pop off, but if Fields never sees the actual field, you're going to want to have your Russ in there.
Well, the good thing about Fields is what I'm hearing from the training camp is that like he's not going to be a full-time bench player. They have goal line packages even when Russell Wilson's starting.
Bro, they had him at receiver today, catching balls.
Yeah, so I think Caleb can hold the line. Remember, we're betting. Okay, so we're betting on Caleb, right? So we have to embrace the variance that Caleb is going to hold the line until one of Fields or Drake May sees the field. That's the bet we're making. And I think we have a strong enough team to do that, especially with our running backs and our first three receivers.
But we have Polk, right? That's why we would take Drake May, because we have Polk.
Yeah, and Drake May is like a 21-year-old version of Josh Allen. I mean, it's just sick. So because I would say we can wait on Drake May, but I don't trust these guys now. I don't trust.
Yeah, they all got like 3 receivers, right? I mean, 3 quarterbacks.
No, they have 5 quarterbacks and they have 3 receivers. You're exactly right, Mark. Yeah, because I don't really see anybody I like. So all right, so we're going with Drake May, right? Just in case.
We can do it.
All right, so okay, so we got 3 QBs. We locked in our QBs.
2 of them, we don't know if they're going to see the field, but we'll hope that later on, one of them.
Like I said, we're only in trouble if one of Fields or Drake May does not start by week 7.
Right.
So
that's why I'm saying I think we should take Russ as insurance, for the last pick. I know you don't love doing things like that, just from our private conversation. It's kind of a throwaway, but just as insurance, God forbid, we get an injury for a week and then none of those guys are starting. We're throwing away the quarterback position.
Yeah. But then, okay, so I'm just saying if we do that, we have to stick with 8 receivers because we're not going to have room. Well, somebody just took Russ Wilson.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good thing we took Drake May.
Yeah, this is a QB heavy draft right now.
So I think what we got to focus on now, I like Gesicki, but his week by 12 interferes with, let me see. So we got to start highlighting tight ends. Is there any back tight ends that you like? I know Ben Sinot's like high upside, but he kind of makes me nervous that Zach Ertz is there.
Zach Ertz is washed, I think.
The problem with Mike Gesicki is Kincaid also has a week 12 bye. There's Chigakwanko. What are your thoughts on Akwanko?
I think he's all right. I think he's serviceable.
Because ideally, what I would want to do is just go 2 tight ends. But do you think he has potential spike weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Levis is looking great, they're saying. And he also just put out his mayonnaise cologne with Hellman's. So
let me see. Yeah, so we could go Chig. I think he's the best option on the board, unless someone just went Gardner Minshew. Wow.
Is there anybody to pair with Sam Darnold this late? Any of his?
No, Sam Darnold's gone. Sam Darnold's gone.
They took him.
Yeah, that's why I reached for. I think our best option. I mean, look, the highest upside is Ben Sinnott. I just don't know if he's going to see the field. Whereas Chigakwanko, I think he has potential for upside, especially if the Titans do what they say they're going to do, which is up the passing volume and play fast. I think he's a good pick. We could also go with Colby Parkinson, who's supposed to be a full-time player. Where do you want to go with this?
Chig doesn't bother me.
Okay, so you think Kincaid and Chig is enough firepower, right, at tight end?
I think Kincaid is receiver level this year.
Okay,
Volume.
So we're gonna go Chig. Okay, now we can focus on the RBs. You know what I love doing to stack with Caleb, our pass catching back, Roshan. I think that's a sneaky backstack.
We can do that.
Any running backs that stand out to you? I'm a huge Luawe guy. Apparently Justice Hill is co-starting with Derrick Henry, and they do play the Houston Texans week 17, so that could be a nice little fun mini correlation.
Yeah, I mean, I do I'll tell you who I like at this spot. Roshan is fine. I like Jordan Mason, just in case McCaffrey gets
Jordan
hurt.
Mason, good call.
Justice Hill. I like Shipley to back up Barkley in that offense. I think he gets more run than Kenneth Gainwell, even though Gainwell's been there. I think he's just got more talent. They took our Jets back up, right?
Yeah, he's long gone. Yep, and then I think that's it. Yeah. So let me see how many picks we have left. So we have 3 picks left. Even though this draft took a turn for the worst, and this side really foiled our plans for the Jets backstack. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. I think we go Roshan, and then
see, now you see that other private one that I sent you where I went Eckler just in case Jaden Daniels threw him a couple of screen passes or something. Because the way that the draft's going, this is like you kind of get hit over the head and you have to adapt. And you're like, at this point, I just want access to points if that happens. So I'll take the shot on, Roshan Johnson.
Because it could be like the stack could be Caleb, Roshan, and DJ Moore that go off.
Yeah.
So I like it. And then the running backs left, how would you order them? Would you order them? Who would you put at the front?
Well, Justice Hill, because he's going to see the most of touches out of the bunch for now. But I mean, you're talking about if Saquon goes down, which he always goes down, I think Shipley bumps up even higher,
right.
in offense.
I think I like that take. I like it. Well, Justice Hill goes. So we got to hope
out there just in case, just to put it on the radar, is Luke McCaffrey. They say that he's doing great things out there. He's still out there. And then also in the small chance that Ayuk does get traded, Juwan Jennings, third and Juwan, is still out there, who would take a big leap forward in that San Francisco passing attack.
That is right. I like that. I like that call. I think I'll put him on there, and then we will. Those will be our options. I like that call, though. Someone just went Aiden O'Connell for their 5th quarterback mark.
I told you, man.
Would you say that this team is dead?
It's insane.
I want you to think about it like this. Their 5th receiver is Greg Dortch. Our 5th receiver is Rashid Shaheed.
They don't even have Kyler, and they've got Dortch.
I think he's just taking these quarterbacks out of spite at this point.
Yeah, that's
the good thing is, like, we're not dead, even if, let's say, we have no quarterback for week 7. I'm just saying that, like, because this guy, he's going to be in goal line packages, so he could always salvage our week. This guy could get in by week 7, so that's where we're placing our bets on. Other than that, that's the only hole in our
yeah. Remember in the last draft when we were talking and you said I threw away those last picks, which I had to, because this is exactly what they did. There was no other quarterback, so I had to take up my backup quarterback just in case, the main starter got hurt. right? So I had Kyler. I had to take Clayton Tune as my last pick just in case because they went 746 quarterbacks that they shouldn't have drafted on their team.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is good. So we are between Will Shipley and Dylan Loabe. Would you like to play rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
It's your pick.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with Will Shipley. I love
Okay.
Dylan Loabe though. My love for Dylan Loabe can't be understated. So we went with Will Shipley. And now we have to remove Dylan Loabe. I'm going with my boy Mark. I feel it.
It's a higher if Barkley does miss some time, which we know that he's prone to do, right? That's a more high-powered offense, and to get those carries by the goal line, with Jalen Hurts, the big dogs that they got on the receivers, that offense is going to move the ball quite a bit, and it just gives you, high upside this late in the draft.
Yeah, and he's the kick returner and punt returner.
Okay.
And since they changed the kickoff rules, like there could be more touchdowns scored. Like he could have a week where he's splitting snaps with Kenneth Gainwell, and then he rushes one in, returns one, gets a few receptions, and he could be like a top 5 RB for a week or two. So I like the call. I think he's a good talent. And already in his first preseason action, rushed the ball for 23 yards and caught a 7-yard touchdown. So I like it.
Yep. Where are we going now? We going with your boy Calvin Austin for your Fields stack just in case?
I really want to. I think it's between. Let me take Luke McCaffrey out of there. It's between Juwan Jennings and Calvin Austin.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, I like Juwan Jennings more, but our build fits Calvin Austin versus Juwan Jennings.
Yes. And just like I think you made the right call over Loabe with Shipley, because now we have 2 high upside handcuffs instead of just like a pass catching back. Oh, we are on the clock. I guess we can let it. So we'll go with Calvin Austin. So with this, we're betting that Ayuk stays in San Fran. And then we got a Pittsburgh stack with Najee Harris, Fields, and then Calvin Austin.
Right.
So,
and even if well, I forgot we didn't take Ayuk. I was going to say, even if Ayuk moves, to the Steelers, we have the connection with Fields, but we don't have that here.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the team?
No, I like it. I mean, I think we started off really hot, and then we kind of got sniped with some picks. But the way that we stood strong, we dug our feet in the ground, and we didn't get bullied into things that didn't make sense. We still got the correlation with our plays. I don't think we really reached per se. We went upside correlation for the latter part of the draft. So I'm confident, man. I really think what we're seeing out of Chicago, from what I'm hearing as well, that locker room is cohesive. They're cheering for each other, and we know that when Uncle Mo comes into the building, momentum, right? Momentum is a hell of a thing. They've got a very strong offense around Caleb Williams. If the team is vibing that way, they're going to have each other's back. They're going to fight for each other. They're going to want this kid to succeed. And I think it's a great pick, and we've got access to them across the board. So, I'm excited about this team and what
I'm excited too. I think this is a contrarian 3-max team. It's not your typical, like stacks like this guy with the Dolphins and Bengals, even though I think this is a 6 stack. But you could see here he's kind of weak at tight end if Brock Bowers doesn't see the field that much.
Right.
You see, and then his tight ends it's 2 rookies and Mike Gesicki. So I think we have an edge everywhere, and we possibly have the tight end one, which is
Yes.
going to help our team a lot. And then, like I said, would you be shocked if Raji Rice goes close to the second round 2 weeks from now, and we got him in the fourth round?
No, I mean, I don't know if you recall last year, because we primarily played Rainmakers. Well, I mean, I know you did a lot of best ball, but for me, I primarily played Rainmakers. And in our Discord that we had last year, we were chatting back and forth and kind of looking at rookies. And I had Rashee Rice ranked pretty high, as a rookie before the season started. I was hearing things at camp, and it took a little bit of time for it to develop. But that chemistry is there between him and Patrick Mahomes, and I just love having that ability to get a Chiefs receiver that late in the draft, and I do think he's going to bump up. So I think even though right now it might not look as value, I think we got big value pick in that round that, as you mentioned, is going to go higher as we progress towards the actual season, especially with the injury that happened there with Hollywood Brown. He's just going to start flying up the boards as we draft later and later into September.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I remember specifically when we were talking preseason in the Discord, when we were having our conversations heading into the 2023 season, the main rookies we highlighted, ironically, at each position at QB, we highlighted AR-15, we highlighted Devon A-Chain at running back, and then you highlighted Raji Rice at wide receiver, and my wide receiver was Marvin Mims, who broke out in week 2, but then Sean Payton's like, nope, that's not our identity.
Right.
We're trying to lose games for draft picks. Go sit back down. You can blow up next year. So, but yeah, we were at 3 out of the 4 picks we hit, barring the injury from AR-15. He looked like he was going to smash. So, if you could give me a hot take for this year, when we're in that range of Kincaid, McBride, Kyle Pitts, do you think, when we're talking about Drake London versus Kyle Pitts, Marvin Harrison versus McBride, which side of the coin are you on when it comes to who will be better value at their ADP? We see Harrison and Drake London go at the 1-2 turn, which for me, I'm kind of fading them at this point because I feel like the real alphas on those teams are McBride and Pitts. You look at the Kirk Cousins interview the other day, and Kirk Cousins, all he talks about is Kyle Pitts. He says he talks to him in the locker room. He talks to him at lunch. He tells him you're a special player. You just need to do this right. And Kirk Cousins really enthusiastic about Kyle Pitts. Is your strategy to be more overweight on Harrison and Drake London, or would it be McBride or Pitts in the later rounds, or a mix of both?
In the best ball format, I think exactly what you're saying gives you options later, right? It allows you to sort of do what we did in the first part of this draft. If you're going Drake London or Marvin Harrison, you're going to be missing out on some of the meat that's in these middle rounds, right? You're going to be reaching. But if you do the opposite and you're targeting, like you said, a Kyle Pitts or a McBride to stack with a Kyler Murray, or I'm drawing a blank of the other quarterback of Kirk Cousins, right? You're going to get better depth and better talent earlier on before you get to those selections. So in a best ball format, I'm with you, and I'm with it 100%.
Yeah, because I don't see a universe where I rank like a Puka Nakua the same as a Drake London. Do you?
No, especially with the mouths to feed, that's there in Atlanta, right? You got the 2 running backs starting to see the field. You got Drake London, and look here at the end of the day, too. When you're looking at McBride versus Marvin Harrison, they're saying that Marvin Harrison is Jr. is like utterly worldly, right? Like that he's a talent that is generational, but we haven't seen that play out yet. We've seen what McBride can do. I think that he's going to have a positive TD regression. He's a big body near the end zone. I think Kyler's going to look for him, quite a bit down there. And then on the other end of the spectrum, are we really going to see a gap, that huge of a gap in scoring between Pitts and London? I don't think it's going to be a monumental gap where, in the best ball format, as I just mentioned, doing this contrarian style of drafting, it's going to allow you to build up your team a lot stronger in the beginning and fill it out with, the Pitts and Cousins in the middle rounds.
Right. I completely agree with you. Because if you look at our draft here, I mean, Kyle Pitts goes in the 6th round compared to Drake London in the 2nd. And I don't see why there's such a huge gap. So if I'm going to shoot you a couple questions, either or. You taking AJ Brown or Drake London?
AJ Brown.
Deebo Samuel or Drake London?
Oh man, it's so hard for me to talk against my Niners. I think for me, yeah, I mean, you got to go Deebo, because I almost went the opposite way, just because I like the ability of London in the red zone more with Kirk Cousins than I do Deebo, but Deebo gets it done in such a variety of ways that the opportunity value is going to be there for Deebo versus London. So, I will go Deebo on that one as well.
Devontae Adams or Drake London?
Oh man, Devontae's such a monster, but I don't with Minshew, I'm going Devontae Adams.
Chris Olave or Drake London?
I see what you're doing here.
We're going. You see how he doesn't make sense in the 2nd round? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I would honestly, Mark, I would rather take up to Ayuk over Drake London. Like, I would rather have Ayuk over Drake London.
I'm taking. I mean, does Deebo go before Ayuk? Yeah. For me, I'm taking Ayuk over Deebo.
Right. I think this is because of the news that Ayuk could get moved to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But
I'm still taking Ayuk over Deebo.
So I'm gonna get us out of here with a bold prediction. Michael Wilson will outscore Marvin Harrison this year.
Wow, that is big.
Bang!
That is big. Okay, I mean, I'm going to leave it at that. Before we got on this thing, I just watched a little short video on Twitter of Marvin Harrison cooking the DBs, with his crisp route running, and leaving them in the dust. So I don't know about that one, but it's a nice.
Listen,
take.
Mark. Listen. There's plenty of gym class heroes out there, like Marvin Harrison, like Xavier Worthy, but when it's time to put the pads on in a real game, no gym class hero will ever break a slate. None. I'm not saying he's a gym class hero, but it's a hot take. I think McBride and Michael Wilson outscore him. Give us your hot take of which player this year will flip another player on the same team, or it could be maybe like a round later that you see this player outscoring this player.
Dontavian Wicks is the wide receiver 1 in Green Bay.
I love it.
In terms of fantasy value and points this year, he's the wide receiver 1.
I love it, Mark. I love it.
Jaden Reed is more of their gadget guy, like a Deebo light, which is great until it doesn't, translate into success, near the red zone, and you lose value there. Watson is hurt often, and Dontavian Wicks, even though Romeo Doubs is consistent, I think Wicks outshines him in terms of, physical talent. I think Dobbs is more like old school from the Carolina Panthers, Muhsin Muhammad style, right? Where that like almost, I don't know the right terminology to use. You would say like a plotting running back, right? The one that's just going to be there like a solid floor. Where I think like Dontavian Wicks is going to have these big games, and I think the rapport that he's going to develop with Jordan Love as the season goes on is really going to have people thinking, man, I should have drafted him a lot earlier than I did.
Yeah, I was drafting him a ton early on, and I think the coach said during before training camp that he's our Devontae Adams. So that's a big compliment. That's a big compliment.
Click on him real fast, and we'll let everybody go because we're recording late on here. I highly doubt he's still here.
He's somewhere around here. Or did he go earlier? I'm trying to find him. Do you see him?
No, but I guess really all I wanted to show was, in the first preseason game.
Here he is.
Yeah, what does it say there? Because I can't really see, so you'll have to read it.
So his first preseason game, I think it was with Jordan Love.
Yep.
Caught a 65-yard touch. He caught his only target for 65 yards and a touchdown from Jordan Love.
And then that was it. And then they pulled the starters after that. They're like, we see what we need. We know we can do it. I think you're going to see a lot of that this year between Dontavian Wicks and Jordan Love. I think that's going to be quite a hot connection and something that should be on people's radar.
I agree. The main question is the rotation, but I agree with you. I'm a huge Dontavian Wicks fan. I always love to have him on every team. It's honestly between him and Rashid Shaheed that I love to have on every team, right in that area. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either. So
I mean, it's number 2 receivers, right? And one of those guys is going to have to step up and be the number 1. A lot of the time, I like Jordan Love to try to grab him at some point in the best ball drafts because there's so much depth there for Green Bay too that if there is injury, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to always have somebody to step up.
Exactly. I mean, you look at a proven offense like Green Bay, all the players go later. Whereas if you look at a non-proven offense like Atlanta, all the players go in the first couple rounds. I mean, make it make sense,
Right.
So I agree with you. I think the Packers are a team to target in best ball because I think they're still being disrespected ADP wise.
Right. Well, I think we gave everybody what they needed on this one. We gave a lot of tidbits. We're not sitting here doing the analytics on screen and whatnot, but we're drafting live with you and showing you what to do when things don't go your way, how to pivot, how to stay consistent in your beliefs, and have your strategies play out for you, even if the guys that you want don't fall to you. So, Brandon, this is draft number 2 for us on a mid-level buy-in, high-end buy-in, depending on what your bankroll is. I was excited to do this one. I think our team turned out well. If you've got any closing statements, you've got the mic, my friend.
No, I think we have a high upside team. We're literally just betting on week 7 for one of Justin Fields or Drake May just to get us some points. And the rest of the team is pretty solid. I think we have a strong running back core, even though we went hero RB, and the team is solid. I just think, like I said, one of our 2 backup QBs needs to start week 7, and we're good to go. I think we have a good chance of advancing, and then we have a unique team. If we do advance to week 15, not too many people are going to have that combo of 3 QBs starting of Caleb, Drake May, and Justin Fields, who is known to break slates. So I agree with you 100%, Mark. It's been fun, though. This was a fun draft.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the next one, guys. I know that we're brand spanking new. If you did make it to the end of this video, do us a favor, give us a follow. We're going to hit you with a lot of content this year, not just best ball. We're going to dive into a lot of other alternative investments for sports, so stay tuned for that. All right, for Brandon, I am Mark, and we are signing out.